is for natural healing. And so I had just a consultation, and one of the things that I absolutely love about quantum nutrition testing is when, and I get so excited on hearing like what people like their reactions and things. So I had a consultation and it was a virtual appointment, and I'm using quantum nutrition testing. And I love when something shows up during the quantum nutrition testing scan and the patients haven't told me about it. And you can hear like on on the other side of the phone, like, how did you know that? And that's what's the cool thing about this. So I'm doing a scan on this patient, and two things. So her right side, this patient's right side was coming up like kind of like by the hip area, but like right above it, like almost by the waist hip area. And that area was coming up like not functioning, like it just was coming up stressed out during the quantum nutrition testing scan. And she never even mentioned that to me. And so I actually asked her about it. I was like, and I told her, I'm like, I know it's on the right side and it's like right about your waist, hip area. I can't tell exactly what part, but it's on that side. I'm like, there's something going on. And she goes, oh my gosh, how did you know? And I'm like, well, like it just was coming up stressed out. And she goes, I had this excruciating pain and it lasted for about a day. I had no idea where it was from. It's like it was on my right side, like by my hip area, but just above it. And I never felt, it was like such a bad burning sensation. I've never had anything quite like it before. And how did you know about that? And that's the cool thing about quantum nutrition testing. And so she didn't tell me about it, and it showed up. And then I get to finish scanning her, and I'm like, well, what's going on with like your left elbow and a cubital area? I'm like, something is going on with that. And she goes, oh my gosh. She goes, I just had blood drawn there the other day. And she goes, you picked up on that? And I said, and she goes, yeah, it still is kind of sore. I was like, yeah, it's coming up. And so like we didn't talk about it, and that's what I love about quantum nutrition testing is it can be actually done in person, virtual, and things will show up even if you don't tell somebody something, or maybe you don't have any symptoms and things can show up so we can catch things before they're an issue. And then what's kind of cool is we can find out like, okay, well, if an area shows up a little bit not functioning optimally, then we can find out why. Well, why is that area not functioning as well as it could be? Is it heavy metals? Is it heavy chemicals? Is it like food intolerances? Like what's the underlying cause? And then we can find out specifically what supplements does that person's body need to get rid of the underlying cause while giving nutritional support. So it's like literally a tailor-made program. But like I said, I still get amazed at this. Like I was a cardiac ICU nurse for over 14 years. I've been in the Western medicine field for what? Gosh, I'm dating myself, for over 20 years. And if somebody told me like 15 years ago that I'd be doing quantum nutrition testing, I'd look at them like they had 5 heads coming out of their neck. Like this is all voodoo and wonkiness. But yet every single day, and this is what I love about this, every single day it proves that it's so accurate and so scary accurate that I'm still amazed about this. I get so excited about doing this because we literally can find out hidden causes that are missed and finding out like, why do you have your symptoms in the first place? And that's the power of quantum nutrition testing. It literally takes the guesswork out. And, and like I had another patient today, and it's so sad. She had all these issues, and she had a lot of gut issues, and all of the diagnostic tests came back up normal. And she went to doctors, and finally one of the doctors told her, well, it's just your anxiety. And it's like, Wait, what? So like we were talking and it's like, so my chronic diarrhea is just my anxiety because your diagnostic testing came back negative because you can't find an answer. So you're going to just blame that I have anxiety. And do you know how many patients that I see that have these things? Their symptoms. Oh, it's just your anxiety. Why you can't sleep or why you have chronic pain or you're just depressed or you just have this and you know or well, we're not exactly sure because your labs look great. Here, have a pill. Or we're going to give you an anti-anxiety medicine or we're going to give you an antidepressant medication. Okay, so great, thanks. And a lot of my patients go through that. And they feel like, that they need these psych meds when it's not really the case. There's something going on. And just because Western medicine misses it doesn't mean that you don't have an underlying issue. If your labs were technically truly, truly normal, that means you should not have any symptoms. So if you have a symptom, there's an underlying issue, guys. And that's what I love about quantum nutrition testing is to we can get really to the underlying cause and find out exactly what's causing that. Even if you have normal blood work, even if you've been made to feel like it's just in your head, like my poor one patient, for years she thought, well, she was told it was just anxiety. And she knew deep down that it wasn't just anxiety. Now, yes, anxiety and emotions can cause a lot of like health issues and affect on how your body's feeling. But don't just chuck up things to just, an emotional reason why you have symptoms. Because usually there's like a multitude of things. It's not just one thing causing your symptoms. Yes, emotions can have an effect on how your body heals and how your body responds to things, but there's underlying things too. So find out the underlying cause. And even if you didn't do something like with quantum nutrition testing, find a practitioner that looks for things like mold, that looks for things like candida, that looks for things like parasites and food intolerances and toxins. If you're not addressing that and you're only seeing a practitioner that is giving support to an organ, that's great, but you're not addressing the root cause. Find a practitioner that can address the root cause, not just give support. If that is intriguing to you, give us a call, set up a free 10-minute discovery phone call, 708-694-4092.